What's up, guys? It's your boy Lasers here, and today we're going to be having a little discussion about the difference between modding and hacking, what they can both do good and bad for the community, and the game itself, and how modding can really help expand the lifespan of a game. Now, uh, quick note about the gameplay: this is TDM, No Shark Canals, on Battlefield 3 for the PC. Nothing too special about my kill-death ratio or anything like that. It's just alright, and I'll let you see who wins in the end. Now. Uh, just to jump straight into the topic, what is the difference between modding and hacking? Well, in my opinion, first off, the line has grown very, very blurred over the last, I don't know, couple years. And that I do feel is strongly because of the consoles, and will only grow worse because due to the fourth generation of consoles. Now, hacking is generally considered illegal. While not always strictly enforced by the gaming company, it is technically illegal. You run into this mostly on consoles such as the PS3 and Xbox. For instance, if you try playing Call of Duty 4 on the Xbox, all you'll really find is hacked lobbies from when I played. Now, modding. Modding is the exact opposite of hacking. It's really only for the community's benefit. You're not forced onto a mod. You're forced onto a hack or a hack lobby. And modding is generally only on PCs most of the time, and that's generally because Microsoft and Sony aren't too open about their game files and don't let you fool around with them too much. Now, what are the benefits of modding? Well, modding can really add a huge amount of time to the lifespan of a game. You see games like Mount and Blade are still being played to this day. Medieval 2 Total War, some of the older Total Wars are also being played. Pretty much all the Elder Scrolls are very moddable and really easy to be modded because of the support for the mods, and are still being played to this day. Morrowind, for example, is still selling copies even with the uh, release of Skyrim, which is really pretty impressive. It's a very long lifespan, even for a game with mods. If you see Arma 2, once DayZ was released, it was top of the sales chart for Steam for, I don't know, maybe a month or longer, something of the sort. Um, Now we're gonna get into real quick what are the communities like, and how they work together, and the like. The modding community, I've only been a part of the Mountain Blade community and the Dawn of War modding community, but both are very welcoming. They only look to satisfy the community. They do whatever they can to help, and I assume hacking communities are somewhat the same, except they don't have the big picture in mind. They're not looking to satisfy the entire community, rather to satisfy themselves or other hackers, not to help out the entire gaming community, which is really unfortunate, I think. Now, you may ask, well, if modding gives games so much more such a bigger lifespan, and companies will make more money off of it, why wouldn't every company just do that? And that's a good question. It's a fair question. But the answer is actually pretty simple. It's generally because unless it's a specifically online game, you have to encrypt the files, or if it is online, you have to encrypt the server files, from what I understand, to be able to stop the hacking, which in turn stops the modding as well. And that really hampers the creativity. And nowadays, hampering creativity is almost like a hobby for businesses, for corporations. Warner Bros. I don't know if you guys have heard the story. I don't even know if you keep in touch with stuff like this, but if you have heard the story of the MERP team, MERP, they were creating a Lord of the Rings mod for Skyrim. They had already created one for Oblivion, it was a huge success, and they decided to port it over to Skyrim. And Warner Bros., who owns the licensing to the Lord of the Rings games for the from the movies, said no, we don't want it to be cannibalized. And in case you don't know what that means pretty much people won't be able to tell between Lord of the Rings game made by Warner Bros. And between Lord of the Rings mod made for Skyrim, and so they'll get Skyrim thinking it's Warner Bros. And it makes them lose money. Is pretty much the whole idea of that. And from a business perspective, it's a good idea. They don't want to lose money. It's a fair thing to do from a business perspective. From an ethical or from just the average person standpoint perspective, I don't think it's a very good idea at all. I think it hampers creativity of people, and really just it kind of puts a nail in the coffin with this whole modding thing, because a lot of companies are already on the edge of whether to support modding, and a lot don't nowadays. Battlefield 2 had support, had mod support, had pretty good mod support from what I understood. And then Battlefield 3 came along, and they decided to take it apart. Now, for the reason is, I don't know why. I believe it was because of the files they had. It was a little bit too hard to mod. They didn't want people getting a hold of the powerful engine for 2.0. Or I believe this is 3.0 actually. Anyways, but yeah, it really did put a nail in the coffin. I think for a lot of people. I think Elder Scrolls is going to keep up with the mod support, which they should, because it has added a huge amount of replayability. And by the way, replayability, in case you don't know, it should be pretty self-explanatory, but in case you don't know, replayability is the ability to replay the same game again and again and still be entertained by it. And this is really what a lot of RPGs and RTSs rely on, FPSs as well. You see, Call of Duty is very replayable, which is why it has a huge fan base. Battlefield, all the Battlefields are pretty replayable. RTSs, I could think of. Total Wars are pretty darn replayable, in my opinion. Battlefield Middle Earth was somewhat replayable. I've never actually used the mod on there, but those are just some examples. Mountain Blade's very replayable. And the PC games in particular are very replayable because of the modding community. In my opinion, Dawn of War has been replayable for me. Company of Heroes has, and I'm gonna stop with the examples now. But yeah, it's just this whole cycle of it's it's really the gaming companies have to find a balance really, and that's between allowing hackers to have easy access and allowing modders to have easy access. Um, Really, I think what a lot of companies have decided on is to just go all out on destroying anything the hackers can do, and in turn destroying the what the modders can do, and it hampers the creativity of the people. Anyways, um, people's outlook on a lot of the hacking communities, anonymous, I think is good. I think it's pretty good as far as anonymous itself goes, from what I understand. And the reason I say that is because they generally stand up for the people. They're one of the few that actually stand up and say, "Hey, this is bad. We're gonna hack this site for the people." But not a whole lot of hacking communities do that, and it's pretty unfortunate. It is. But that's generally the case with most hacking communities. The outlook on modding communities, I think, is right around there with the hacking communities, and I feel like the reason is because people can't tell the difference between modding and hacking, and it's pretty unfortunate. People call modding hacking and hacking modding on the consoles, and it gives one a worse name than the other. I'm sorry for the stuttering, but all right. That's about it. That's all I wanted to cover. If you guys like the video, please hit it up with a like and a favorite. Comment if you have anything to say about the video, and have a great day.